Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. We're almost there with your help. Thank you. And most importantly, don't unsubscribe, subscribe, and share with a friend because knowledge is power. And here you get the truth and you also get it from somebody who's in the know. And what I want to do is I want to talk about yesterday. A 26-year-old migrant from Venezuela was convicted of murdering Laken Riley. You may remember Laken Riley. She was the 22-year-old nursing student, and while she was on a run on her campus in Georgia, she was killed by this migrant. Now, this case has been used by Trump and his acolytes to push the rhetoric about the need for mass deportation of millions and millions of undocumented people. You've also heard me talk about during the campaign, the Trump campaign, those placards, mass deportation now, and the fear that that placard actually generated. I want to show you what Trump posted right after the conviction yesterday. He wrote, "Justice for Laken Riley. The illegal who killed our beloved Laken Riley was just found guilty on all counts for his horrific crimes. Although the pain and heartbreak will last forever, hopefully this can help bring some peace and closure to her wonderful family who fought for justice and to ensure that other families don't have to go through what they have. We love you, Laken, and our hearts will always be with you. It is time to secure our border and remove these criminals and thugs from our country so nothing like this can ever happen again." Got to tell you, well written. I agree with the sentiment. What a terrible, terrible shame that there will never be closure for the Riley family. Beautiful young 22-year-old nursing student doing what so many of us do. Go for a run. I go for runs in the park. Sometimes I'll go running on the treadmill, and that's the same as the park. So she was running on her campus, a place she should feel safe. Not so sure, though, that the ending meets the sympathy of the beginning to make sure that these thugs, we're talking about an isolated instance. We're talking about one individual who did a horrific, an unforgivable thing, and he will now, rightly so, suffer the penalty. All right? I want to show you a few clips that Tom Homan said about deporting non-criminal migrants being not off the table. Play that clip.
If you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table. I mean, we've been looking for fugitives. There's over 1 million illegal aliens in this country who got due process at great taxpayer expense, were ordered removed by a judge and failed to leave. So they're also a priority. But yeah, I mean, we'll be moving on to those who may not be a criminal, may not be a fugitive, but they enter this country illegally, which is a crime, and they're here illegally, and they are not off the table. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah. Again, wouldn't it be nice if the incoming administration held back on comments like this? I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. It's not my choice. I try to express that to each and every one of you. We're just along for the ride because the plurality of Americans ended up voting for Donald Trump, which is now going to be his administration. So whether you agree with it or you don't, becomes irrelevant. But what I would like to know, what I would like to be able to have a conversation with each and every one of you on, is the policy, not these snippets of chaos and conjecture. I'd rather be able to take a look and see exactly what the policy is. Who is it that they're going to deport? How are they going to deport them? Is it going to be in a humanitarian way, or is it not? How is it going to make America look in the eyes of our allies and our adversaries? Because remember, we are the beacon on the hill. But I also want to show you here a clip of Homan saying that it doesn't matter if cities want to help with the deportation or not. Play that clip.
I'll tell you this, they don't have to help us. but they need to get the hell out of the way because we're coming, we're going to do it. Which means if I got to send twice as many resources to that sanctuary city, twice as many agents, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I've been saying for the last several days that they need to study the law. They cannot help, but don't impede us and don't cross certain lines. There's a statute under Title 8 United States Code 1324 that talks about harboring and concealing an illegal alien. Knowingly harboring and concealing an illegal alien from ICE. They need to read that statute and become familiar with it, because if they cross that line, there will be consequences. So, look, we're prepared to take action, but I hope they come to the table and realize we are prioritizing the worst of the worst first. Help us do that. Help yourself make your community safer. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Okay, Tom. It's not. I don't believe Tom's a lawyer. I think that he also has to understand the distinction between the state's rights, and federal government and the federal government's rights. You know, the federal government, as an example, does not acknowledge marijuana sales. Some states do. You understand the point I'm trying to make here? States have certain sovereignty rights. Now, I haven't gone through the section, not yet, that Tom is referencing, but somewhere along the line, I have to emphatically believe that states have certain rights that cannot be impeded by the federal government. And we're talking about people who came in the country, many illegally, but they are given certain documents, and they have hearing documents and so on. You know what we're talking about? We're talking about, again, just creating chaos. The day that they come in, there's going to be chaos. Tom Homan will do exactly what he says. That's why Trump picked him. It's what Trump wants. It's what Project 2025 wants. That all of these migrants need to be deported. I'm not so sure it's going to be as easy as they think it's going to be. And I do believe that there are certain states that will not go along with it, and that the states do not have to just get the hell out of the way. So you're going to end up in the court. It's going to be more court battles, more expense to the American people that make absolutely no sense at all. You know why it doesn't make sense? Because, again, there is no release of a policy that can be looked at, reviewed by the states, by the governors, by the government. Lastly, I want to show you a clip of Jesse Waters saying what he would do if he was a migrant. Play that clip.
A migrant judge, and I saw that Trump won, I'd pack my bags and get on the first flight to Nicaragua. Because here's the other option. 6 a.m., ICE knocks on your door, puts you in a van. You haven't brushed your teeth. You haven't packed. Maybe your wife had already left for work. Where's she now? So they're going to put you in a van. They're going to take you to a military base where there's going to be hundreds of other migrants who aren't going to be very happy. And they're going to probably have you there for 3 to 4 weeks until they put you on a flight and send you back to Nicaragua. And then you have to do the walk of shame. If you go back on your own terms and you arrive at the village, you can say, you know what, Boston wasn't for me, didn't like the food. Let me regale you with my adventures in Estados Unidos. You could do it that way, or you could do it the other way. It's their choice at this point. You know,
and he's somebody that Fox News thinks should actually be speaking. Sure, Trump won. We all acknowledge that. And there is a policy, we don't know it yet, in order to remove them. First of all, the deportation process has to be done within 90 days, just so that Jesse knows this. On top of that, sure, who doesn't want to have their teeth brushed when they get onto an airplane and they head off to Nicaragua? Because there are all these migrants that are, selling M&Ms and candy on the street in order to make $1. They're just sitting with enough money in their bank account, which of course they don't have, in order to purchase a plane ticket, in order to go back to Nicaragua, where they left because their lives were in jeopardy and that they were being slaughtered by rebels. again, when you sit and you listen to some of the things that these folks say, it's merely gaslighting to their audience. It's what their audience wants to hear. Why not just turn around and put them up in an air balloon and don't even land the air balloon? Why not just drop them out? And those that live in Nicaragua say, you know, Boston just wasn't for me. Los Estados Unidos wasn't for me. It's this sort of rhetoric that's going to become very damaging, not just to the states, not just to the federal government, but to the Trump administration, to Trump's legacy, his second shot at a presidential legacy. And so it's why I keep saying to you, now is not the time to step away. Now is the time to embrace shows like this. So please make sure that you subscribe, share with a friend, because knowledge is power. And together as a community, we can ensure that at least the chaos is kept to a minimum. And as always, my friends, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.